Welcome, Nomads, to the Nomad Nation Network. I am your host and fellow Nomad Step Van Rav. This is Nomad News for Saturday, November 9th, 2019. Before we get started, guys, do me a little favor and look right down there and click that little red subscribe button. Be sure to click the little bell right next to it. That way you get a new notification every single time that we upload a new episode of Nomad News. That way you stay in the know when it comes to everything in the Nomad Nation. Now, to our first story. All right, guys, I'm not going to get into where I've been for the last couple of months. I'll just say I will address that at another time. I just wanted to actually just do this quick video to get an episode out there to kind of let you know like what's going on. But let's talk about our first story. I am sure that a lot of you guys that follow the Nomad community, or if you are Nomads, that you know that is right now, started yesterday, is the EGNIMATIC NOMADICS 2019 van build that is going on in Parker, Arizona. And there's already been a van tragedy that has taken place like the very first day. A girl named Cece was coming in and she got out of her van, I guess, to go register and come back to find her van literally on fire. Which, being a nomad, that is, other than getting broken into is, I think, probably the second biggest fear, which is going to lead to our second story. But our very first fear is fire, because if somebody breaks in, they're going to steal a lot of things, but you will have your van and you should have everything left unless they steal your entire van. I haven't really heard of that happening yet. I'm sure it will happen, but it kind of did with our third story, which is the couple down in Padre Island, Texas, or Corpus Christi from New Hampshire that disappeared. So that's another. There's been a lot of things going on lately, and this is going to be a quick episode. I don't really have time to go into detail on all of that, so we're just going to touch base on these stories as I can. So, but I do want to talk about Cece, whose van caught on fire at the 2019 van build this year in Parker. Jamie, he is the creator of the van build.
Hey everybody, Jamie here, and we are just about to kick off the van build. It starts tomorrow, and the day before yesterday, was it?
Yeah.
As a couple of people were filing in, we had a very unfortunate thing happen. Cece, who came to the van build to have solar panels installed, hasn't even gotten them in the mail yet. Went up to check in and get herself situated, came back, and her van was on fire. Well, it was such a quick, heavy, hot fire that there was no way any of us could have done anything with fire extinguishers. We were just left to sit back and watch it burn to the ground. And so this is something that Cece lived in. It was full-time. She had her purse in it, her cell phone in it. I mean, anything you could imagine of personal effects, clothing and so forth was in that van, and it burned to the ground. And so what we've decided to do is pull together as a team. It was actually Chad's idea to do this, and I think it's a good one. And we've decided to pull together as a community and try to get her back on her feet. Now, what that means is we're starting a crowd-funded new vehicle for her and some other things that she may need, clothing, just the normal things that folks need to get by. And so we've started a GoFundMe. The link is down in the notes. And I would encourage you, if you would like to help us do this for Cece, we're not asking for very much.
He has set up a donation page for Cece, and he has also, they've set up a GoFundMe, and I believe it's over $7,000 at this moment. Why I really wanted to touch base on this story is I understand that Jamie wants to find a van for Cece from the donations and then build that van out for her, which I totally understand that. It'd be great content for his channel, so that's totally understandable. But I also wanted to say that some of you may know I have an absolutely beautiful vintage RV that I have for sale. I was asking 10,500 for it. I knocked 500 off, dropped it down to 10,000. If I could get anywhere in the range from, I'd love to get 10,000 for it, but if we could get the number up somewhere close to that, I could actually take that RV to Cece at the van build, and she would have a house immediately. I mean, I've got almost everything out of it. It's completely pretty much cleaned out. I still have to clean out my closet, but I would just run by the storage, dump everything in the storage, and take it to her. Now, I will say that I just had new shocks put on it, the front, new coil springs put on it. I had a new carrier bearing. I had the carrier bearing replaced. I had the front and back U-joints replaced. But it is making a little bit of drivetrain noise. And I don't know if it's coming from the flywheel or the transmission or what's doing it. But for those of you that have been wondering why I'm not trying to, I haven't been like pushing to sell this RV, because I've had my Snap-on truck now for 8 months, and Bertha, my old RV from Vagabond Days, has been sitting in my best friend Noah's driveway for 8 months, and his wife is ready to kill me. So I need to get rid of this RV, and I have a potential buyer in Louisiana, but she wants me to deliver it to Louisiana, and she wants me to pay the expenses pretty much out of my pocket. So I would much rather take it to Parker and give it to Cece and get it to Cece, and she would have an immediate house. It wouldn't have to be built out. She wouldn't have to wait. I mean, it's got a nice refrigerator. It's got 2 tanks. Now, I do have a old tour video from when I very first was moving into Bertha, before a lot of work has been done. I have a new tour video. I will show you a little bit of that right now. Roll it.
What's up, guys? I am Rav with Nomad News, and I'm here today because I'm going to be giving you a tour of one of these 2 rigs. Can you guess which one? It's actually going to be this one. So I have been a full-time nomad for going on 3 years. I was full-time in this vintage 1982 Dodge Classic, one of a kind. There's not another one that I know of on the planet. As of right now, I still own both of these, but I have been working my butt off to get this one ready to sell. So today we're going to give you a new tour of this one, and she is for sale as of right now for $10,500. So follow me, guys, and we'll go inside and take a look. All right, so this is Bertha. She is a 1982 Dodge B+. This is a fiberglass shell, so you don't have to worry about tin or any of that stuff. The whole shell is fiberglass on the outside, which was one of the things I liked because it stays a lot cooler in the summer.
So yeah, that tour video, I'm going to get edited and get it put up before I head to Parker. So Bertha is for sale. I do need to figure out this little drivetrain noise. Now it runs fine. It literally sounds like it's like the drive shaft, or I thought it was like the carrier bearing, because the front springs were bad. So Bertha was setting a good 2 inches, probably lower in the front end than she should have been. So once we replaced the springs and brought Bertha back up to height, I thought it would get rid of the noise. It didn't. I replaced, like I said, the carrier bearing, the front, the back U-joint, the springs, the shocks, everything. It still got the noise. So got to figure that out, but I do believe that Bertha would make it to Parker, Arizona with no problem, and maybe possibly get her in the shop on the way and figure out what that noise is. And then when the noise is fixed, whatever it is, I mean, it's a house. It's a house on wheels. It's ready to go. It's got 400 watts of solar on the roof. It's got 2 200 watt solar panels on the roof. It's got a 3,000 watt pure sine wave inverter. It's got 40 amp MPP Rover Renogy solar controller. I mean, it's ready to go. I mean, she, it's got a propane tank. It's got everything. She would be ready to go. She would be set up in a home with a shower and everything in it. So I want to put that out there. If you guys want to share this, and, if we can get a hold of Jamie and, just put it out there that, the donation page is up to $7,000. So, I'm flexible to get rid of it. So, and I would love to help out the cause. So let's hit Jamie up. Tell him that Rav from Nomad News has an RV that I think would be perfect for Cece. I know it will, that'll put a dampen on Jamie's plans to build her out a van, because he loves to do that stuff. I know he did a short bus that I actually did a tour of that's on this channel. You can find it from Schoolypalooza this year. When I was at Schoolypalooza, I did a tour of that short bus, and Jamie and they actually built that bus out at the VanBuild. So anyway, that is my thought on that. I think Bertha would be perfect for CC. But it's up to Cece if she would rather have like just a regular van instead of an RV. I totally understand that, because I looked at her burned out van. It looks like it's a high top Dodge. So it's up to her. I know Bertha will be quite a bit more room. Bertha's got a shower built in, a toilet, everything's built in. She just she can shower right there in Bertha. Now Bertha is she's an 82 model, so what is she? 40, pushing 40 years old. She's not a new RV, but she's been very well taken care of. But like any other older RV, there's always little projects you got to do on it. So, but I've traveled all over. I went to Texas. Look back at old videos on this channel. That RV and me have been all over. White Sands, New Mexico, you name it. We've been a lot of places. Downtown Tucson twice. Been to Phoenix twice. Been RTR last year in Quartzsite. So anyway, I think Bertha would set, that way Cece wouldn't have to wait on a home, because she arrived there with a home. So she's got to be, I think she's staying in a tent. So that's got to be pretty traumatic for her. And I think the quicker we could get her back in a house, the better it would be for her. So now I know I've got several people that have hit me up wanting to purchase Bertha, wanting to look at Bertha. But like I said, I really haven't been pushing to sell Bertha until I got this drivetrain noise or whatever it is figured out and got it repaired. So that's something to think about, that's going to have to be fixed, because you're driving it with it making this noise. I haven't driven it with it making the noise much, because I don't want to do any more damage if it's something that's wearing on something. So anyway, I'm going to do the new tour video. I'm going to try to link it up in the cards above and get that linked, and and it should be on my other channel, Nomad Nation. Now I actually cleaned up my storage out in Joshua Tree like a month and a half ago, and I actually I did a vlog, but it's still on the camera. I've never edited it, never had time to do anything with it. So if you guys would like to see that vlog, if you would like me to put it on my Nomad Nation channel so you can watch my vlogs, that's something I was thinking about, but nobody watched my vlog, so I'm not going to spend all that time vlogging and doing all the editing for the Nomad Nation channel if nobody's interested in seeing my vlogs. But I'm going to put this vlog together, and I'll put it over on the Nomad Nation channel, and you guys can watch it and see what you think, and we'll see how that works. And I would love to do videos for both channels, but I'm having a hard time keeping up with the one, as you can see. So anyway, let's move on to our next story really quick. Our next story is going to be EAMON and Beck. So if you don't know who EAMON and Beck are, they are actually some very popular YouTubers. Their channel has just over 400,000 subscribers. They are what I consider, they are the cool, they are the cool Sprinter kids is what I call them. They're kind of the millennial Sprinter kids. A lot of the newer millennials, I think, watch their videos. They do have very high production value. Their videos are very good. It's just I'm not really into the Sprinter thing, even though that was what I really wanted to begin with, was a Sprinter. So I'm not subscribed to their channel, but I do watch their videos from time to time, and I do keep up with them. And a month ago, I was going to do this, because a month ago, I guess the last time I kept up with them, they were down in Mexico, and their engine went out on their Sprinter, and they had a whole debacle of replacing the engine for almost 15 grand or whatever. But somewhere in this time, since I don't keep up with their channel, they've had their van shipped to Europe, and they are in Spain. A month ago now, right at a month ago, they had their van broken into and all of their camera gear and everything stolen. And being that they are YouTubers, that is a big deal, because YouTube is pretty much, I believe, what they do for a living. So that was a really big deal. And that is our second worst nightmare, being full-time van lifers, is having our rig broken into, and that's exactly what happened to them. So my heart goes out to them. It looks like they're replacing their gear a little bit at a time. I think they're pretty well off, because I know when their engine went out and they were able to drop 15 grand to get their engine replaced, that let me know that they're not scraping by. Plus they have 400,000 subscribers. I haven't really looked at the numbers on their YouTube channel, but I'm sure they're making 2 or 3 grand a month on their YouTube channel with 400,000 subscribers, because that's a lot. And then we will move on really quick to our third story, which is going to have to do with the couple from New Hampshire. So this is the second time this has happened, second or third time actually. I know the last one we talked about was the couple up in Canada that were killed, I guess, by the 2 teenagers, if I remember right. I did a story on that one. You can look back at that episode. I'll try to card it up here. So this couple from New Hampshire, if you have not heard, James and Michelle Butler, both like in their 40s. I think James is 48 and I believe she was 46. They had been traveling around in their 4-door, very new Chevy pickup, pulling their bumper pull. Looked about like a 24 or 25 foot RV trailer. I think they were last seen like on October 16th, and then somebody saw someone driving their rig across the Mexican border. And like on October 17th, I believe was the last time they were heard from. Michelle made a post on her Facebook, I believe on October 16th or something like that from what I read. I will link to the Heavy story. It's what I read it on the Heavy story down below. They've pretty much kept up with this. So if you want to read, I'll link a story down below. So if you haven't read about it, you can get some details, more details about it. So yeah, their bodies were both found in a shallow grave on the beach, not too far from where they were camping. So this couple had been seen taking their rig into Mexico, and it ended up being a white couple from Utah that are in their 20s, early 20s, I believe. And now they've both been arrested and they've been extradited back to the United States from Mexico. They were arrested by the Mexican police, and now they are being held right now just on vehicular theft charges, both under $1 million bond. But I think they're doing that just to hold them so they can get their case together for murder charges. So I would imagine murder charges are coming up very soon. Anyway, guys, I'm not going to keep this going too long. I just want to let you know that, hey, VanBuild started yesterday. I have been swamped here at work. My boss, or the owner, our CEO of the company.
Have here, Serena.
We have boxes and boxes of t-shirts, and I think we have over 57,000 units today.
Nice.
Right.
She was in the hospital for a while. She was very sick. And while that was going on, I was running this entire company. And I took a couple of weeks off because I had to go out to Joshua Tree and clean out my entire storage and move it to LA. So I did that. And like I said, I vlogged some of it. So I'll put some of that vlog over on my other channel on Nomad Nation. If you'd like to go check that out, I will put a link down below for that. If you're not subscribed to my other channel, Nomad Nation, I have 2 channels. Nomad News was where you're at, and Nomad Nation is where I'm going to be putting all my van life stuff. So,
Like a moron, I ran off and left my camera batteries for this camera in my office in LA. But as you can see, we're out here in beautiful Palm Springs, and those beautiful, I don't know if they're beautiful, some people think they're ugly, but the big wind turbines and windmills. And we're headed.
You can head over there and check out that vlog. So even though Serena is now better and she's doing well, her and her boyfriend are going to Sedona for the weekend, which is to now Saturday. So they're leaving this morning like at 5 a.m. and they are flying to Sedona for the weekend just to have a little romantic getaway, I guess. And so I ended up postponing my trip. I ended up postponing because I am going to the VanBuild if everything goes right. I will be heading out to the VanBuild, and If everything goes right, I will be leaving Tuesday evening, and hopefully will arrive by Wednesday morning. I will be there at the VanBuild. I hope to do a episode of Nomad News while I'm there. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but that's the plan anyway. So yes, I am planning on going to the VanBuild if everything goes right. I am putting everything together, trying to get everything ready to go. I'm taking 10 425 watt solar panels. I'm hoping that I can get somebody to help me install 3 to 4 of them on my rig. And then the rest of them I'm going to sell for like $300 a piece, or whatever I can do to help out. They're 425 watt solar panels, so they're not easy to find. So and they are industrial solar panels that were used like in a solar farm. So they're not just regular standard commercial or our regular 12 volt solar panels that we use. They're big, massive industrial solar panels. So I'm hoping to get them installed. I actually ordered my buddy Noah actually ordered me a 24 volt 5-in-1 that Will PROWSE has been showing on his solar channel. If you do not watch Will PROWSE's channel and you're into solar energy, you should definitely check out his channel. I will put a card link and put a link down below so you can check out Will's channel, because I watch his channel religiously to try to learn stuff about solar. And I have actually done all the solar for Bertha. I did it all myself and I put it all together, and I'm still now I'm trying to figure out this 24 volt system. I will say really quick that when I was in Joshua Tree, I bought 2 6 volt golf cart batteries. I installed them. Somehow one of the red insulator on the positive line, it actually fell off, and I picked it up and put it back on a negative line. I put it back on the wrong line, and I hooked the batteries up wrong, reverse polarity, and I fried my alternator. I fried my $200 Alpine amp. I did all kinds of damage. And the alternator is like $600, so it took me a while to get another alternator. So I literally was driving my truck for a month with no alternator and having to charge the batteries up here at work every night, which was an absolute nightmare and headache. You didn't see any videos because I was spending most of my time charging batteries at night and couldn't be sitting here doing videos like I am right now. It is literally like 12 midnight, and I started this video like a couple hours ago. So yeah, that is what's going on. If you want to keep up with me, if you want to see me traveling in my Snap-on truck and trying to do the solar install and doing maybe some build out of my truck at the VanBuild, let me know. That stuff, if I do it, it will be over on my other channel, Nomad Nation, and I'll try to do some episodes of Nomad News for this channel from the location and the VanBuild. Again, I planned on being there. I planned on leaving yesterday. That didn't work out. But I still plan on leaving and being there by Wednesday if everything goes right. And I believe the VanBuild goes 2 weeks. Now, the one thing I have to say is I think the tickets are $75, and hopefully there's still tickets, because I haven't bought a ticket because I wasn't for sure I was going to be able to make it. So hopefully that'll work out and I'll be able to get a ticket and be able to get in there. So anyway, guys, I've been rambling on for 20 minutes now, so I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I will say that it was a very... the deal with my hooking the batteries up wrong, basically what had happened was my truck came with 2 AGM 6 volt batteries, and those things are $250, $300 a piece. I didn't want to spend that money on AGMs because I want to go lithium ion at some point soon, but I needed something to tide me over because one of those 6 volts was completely dead. One of them's still good, one of them is done, and so I couldn't even charge my phone. I had no battery juice for my house batteries in my truck. So I couldn't charge my phone. I couldn't do anything. So when I went out to Joshua Tree to clear out my storage, I decided I looked when I got out there because stuff is cheaper out there than it is in LA. And I actually found about 50 miles away 2 brand new 6 volt Deca golf cart batteries, which are, what a lot of people use in RVs. And actually the Deca is supposed to be for solar. So I drove 50 miles from Joshua Tree, picked those batteries up in like Moreno Valley, drove back to a parking lot, Walmart parking lot, hooked them up, pulled everything out, hooked them up, took a picture. but there's 3 batteries, and that's a whole nother story. There's actually one, and you're supposed to have 4, right, for golf cart, because they're 6 volt apiece. There's 3 batteries. There's 2 6 volt, and then there's 1 yellow top Optima. So I was very confused about that. I'll take a picture at some point and show you. But that confused me, and I took a picture of the 2 6 volts, but I forgot to take a picture of the way the yellow top Optima hooked up to the 6 volts. And that's another reason I hooked them up wrong, and it just turned into an expensive nightmare. Very expensive nightmare. I spent 2 days in a parking lot replacing relays and parts and all kinds of stuff that burned up, because at one point my truck wouldn't start, and then I finally got it to start and it wouldn't charge, and I would have to jump some relays to get it to charging. Every time I started, I'd have to reach down under the dash and hit a relay to get it to start. And it was just an absolute nightmare until I finally got a new alternator for it, got the new alternator on there, and it's not quite fixed, but it's close. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Nomad News. I apologize again for being gone so long. Thank you, guys. So many of you reached out and had encouraging words and told me you missed the show, and I really do appreciate that. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. We will see you next time, hopefully from the van build, if everything goes right. Let's keep our fingers crossed. No more bad luck. Hopefully we'll get to the van build and we'll knock it out of the park. And remember, everything you ever wanted is sitting right on the other side of fear. Peace.